I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most woke no joke, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video. And right now, we're talking about episode 3 of the Amazon All or Nothing series covering the Panthers. We're talking about weeks 4 and 5 of the NFL season in 2018, and two really big things happened. Two almost miraculous things happened in weeks 4 and 5 of this season, and only one game happened. The first big thing that happened was David Tepper all but solidified himself as being the biggest and most important thing to ever happen to the Carolina Panthers outside of actually being created. We know that JR deserves a lot of credit for, what he did for the city, the states, all that kind of stuff. We understand that. But since that moment, and I guess ever since 03, 04, this has got to be the biggest thing that ever happened. David Tepper took a big leap of faith. He ignored a conventional thinking, outside pressure, and really closed-minded individuals and saw that the team had a need, and he went out and he got Eric Reid off of free agency. And by now, we all understand and know what Eric Reid's story is. He was the first guy to kneel with Colin Kaepernick, and no matter what you feel about Colin Kaepernick, you say, the protests weren't the reason why he wasn't getting the deal, why he wasn't getting picked up by any team. And we saw Nate Peterman starting for the Bills. We saw a lot of other teams starting some really bad quarterbacks. Jay Cutler got a deal from the Dolphins. You tell me that Colin Kaepernick could not have played better for... We understand, actually. We understand. We know what happened with the Dolphins. And I guess the Ravens as well. That was his girlfriend's fault. But the point is here that any kind of logic you talk about, maybe Colin Kaepernick was bad. He just couldn't play the game anymore. And that's why he wasn't signed. That's well and good. I'm not necessarily going to argue with you because this is no point. I don't have the time to argue with everyone talking about Colin Kaepernick. But if that's your position on Cap, then you also have to answer the question about Eric Reid. He was kneeling too. Was he also bad? Was he also not good enough to play in the league anymore? Was he also asking for too much money? Why did Eric Reid not get a job until 4 weeks into the NFL season? And to answer that question, I won't go too far into this, but to answer that question, we can look at the difference between the 2018 free agency period and the 2019 free agency period. Now, at first, I was lost in the sauce myself. I was seeing how there was a lot of free agent safeties still in the market late in the free agency last year. I was thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe these teams are just, maybe the league has gotten past, paying these safeties. Maybe teams are looking at pass rush and corners to really play against the pass, and safeties now are just not all that value anymore. These guys just can't get deals. But when you look at what was happening, there was guys like who? There was Kurt Coleman, there was the Honey Badger, there's a few guys who were still available. Some really good, solid safeties who were free agents last year, who were getting chump deals. And I mean, no guaranteed money, no long-term deals. I mean, it was all one-year deals for the most part, maybe 2 years with the team option. But there was no big deals happening at all last year. Fast forward a year later, Eric Reid's off the table, 2019 free agency, and we saw a safety get quarterback money. We saw a bunch of safeties starting to get big deals, a lot of guaranteed money, long-term deals. What happened in the span of 365 days where 1 year, no team thought that safeties were good enough to get picked up in free agency or not good enough to get more than a year deal or like $2-3 million in their deal. And then the very next year, everyone's overpaying safeties. Now, there's one safety who hasn't gotten picked up, and at this point, I have no idea what's going on with him. I've said his name too many times in the last couple of years, in the last few weeks. I won't say it again. There's some people who comment on these videos who get mad when I say his name. You know who I'm talking about, but I won't bring him up again. But there's a stark difference between what these guys, what these teams, what these GMs were doing before Eric Reid was off the market and after he left the market. And I'll leave it up to you to decide how to interpret that, but there's a very, very, very obvious reason as to why other safeties weren't getting paid until Eric Reid got picked up by the Panthers. It is what it is. I'll leave it at that. But for the most part, this is a really, really, really good episode. Talking about Eric Reid coming through. And to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, we saw Greg Olsen. It's 2019. Greg Olsen is mad old. You can just tell he's an old guy. Not because he's been in the league, 12, 14 years, but because he's still playing Candy Crush. It's 2019, or it was 2018. It was 2018 then. I'll give him 1 year, get a head start. But look, it's 2018, you're playing Candy Crush still, level 900. That's a clear-cut sign, an early symptom of someone who's already buying from the senior menu at IHOP. There was 2 other really cool things that were happening before we got to the Giants game in week 5. During practice, coach was talking to Graham Gano, talking about, do you have any kind of things you can do to make your kick go farther? Like maybe you can have a running start that come from your stance, or maybe you can change a few things up. And Graham's like, yeah, I had a 3-step at first, but now I just do a 2-step. My timing's better, and I can still get some really good power. It doesn't really matter, man. I can get the power I need to. And coach is like, yeah, you can have a leg on you. I just thought, maybe you can do some things to get a little higher. And Graham's like, nah, I'm confident in what I got right here, bro. Like, we can get the job done. You get some really good gems of insight watching these all or nothing sessions, because that's kind of a wild thing to talk about the week before Graham Gano does what Graham Gano does. And then you also see before the game, Cam's like gassing himself up, talking about, they can't touch you. You that dude. These motherfuckers can do shit to you, bro. You work too damn hard for this. I was like, damn, okay. I said, okay, Cam. You getting kind of real out here. Just gassing himself up, getting ready for the game. And it shows you the kind of mindset. It's telling himself to focus. He kept saying it over and over again. Focus. Focus. They can't touch you. They can't do nothing to you. Just focus. They had me like, hey, Cam can do anything. I can do anything. Oh, captain, my captain. Go ahead and smack these Giants. And it turned out that we needed every single bit of that gas that Cam was giving himself, because it turned into a game that was, we had them beat. We were flooding them for a minute. We were flooding them. And then it turned into a really, really tight game. Y'all know the vibes. 4th quarter, 1 minute left, final drive, Cam Newton, get Graham Gano into range. Hey, and thank God for Mike's, because there's another interesting part that came up where an assistant coach came up and said, hey, coach, with this win, Gano can kick it from 65. I said, 65? And coach's face didn't even change. He said, all right, 65 yards? Hey, let's get it then. Get him in that range. I said, if I'm the coach, look, let's try for 57, 58 maybe, but look, I don't even know about all this. 65? That's the line we're going to draw right here. 65. Hey, if you say 65, we'll go for 65. But if we can get closer, we're gonna try to get closer than that. Is that cool with you? Is it, with the win? With the win, okay. But let's try to get a baby step closer if we can, sir. But hey, 63 yards. Graham Gano does what Graham Gano does. A special teamer made a special play. And speaking of special teamers, this was the game where the Panthers actually announced and introduced their special teams. And Coach Rivera was talking about how everyone gives lip service to how special teams is an important part to the 3 phases of football, but no one really appreciates them the way they really, really do with the offense and defense. And we saw another really impressive play from special teams. A guy that a lot of you were saying we should have cut. A guy that a lot of y'all was saying we shouldn't have signed this offseason. A guy who is not a good player on defense, on the actual field for defensive snaps. But when it comes to special teams, Colin Jones delivers. Colin Jones delivers. OBJ is back to field a punt for a punt return. It hits him off his back foot, I think it was. The ball gets kicked, ball gets moved around and whatnot. And who falls on the ball for a touchdown without Colin Jones? We might have lost that game. Colin Jones was a part of the reason the Carolina Panthers won an NFL football game. You will all apologize. And if you were one of the people who said we shouldn't have signed Colin Jones, said we should have cut him last year, apologize to this man right now. Comment right now, I'm sorry, Colin Jones. I'm looking till you do it. Go ahead and do it. Pause the video right now. I'm looking at you. Capitalize that I. Apologize to Colin Jones right now. I'm not joking. Have you done it yet? I'm going to know if you did it. I'm going to know if he did it. But other than that, man, Graham Gano kicking that 63-yarder. Obviously, this man got the game ball. Obviously, down 1. Time expiring. 1 minute drive. 63 yards. Come on now, brother. And people were saying that we should have cut Graham Gano. People had problems with Graham Gano. I've never understood that. I think 2 years ago he had a troublesome year. But other than that, he's been pretty money. He's been money for a minute now. I've never understood the hatred that Graham Gano's gotten. I think he's been good for a minute. I actually really do like him on our team as a kicker, and it could be a lot worse. You've seen the rankings, you've seen the Green Bay Packers. It could be a lot worse. You know, the Bucks. It could be a lot worse. I'm 100% fine with Graham Gano, man. That's all I got for you today, though. Episode 3 is in the books. Weeks 4 and 5, Eric Reed, Graham Gano, 2 biggest pieces, the 2 biggest focuses of this episode. Let me know what your thoughts are. What are your favorite parts of this episode? What are your least favorite parts of this episode? Did I miss something? Let me know all that in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon because YouTube's being kind of weird with how they alert subscribers with the videos I upload. It's kind of like inconsistent and whatnot. It's YouTube being YouTube. They're always changing and tweaking things. So if you're not getting notified of when I upload videos in a timely manner, you have to look at my channel to find out when I upload videos, then definitely hit that bell icon. It's really the best way to do it. And as always, you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.